What's up my friends, welcome to or welcome back to the channel. I don't know if you know this, but a couple weeks ago I spent 2 days in Chicago. I don't know how you could possibly know that. Yeah, I'm sorry for being annoying. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about my overall opinions and my thoughts and my experiences of my time in Chicago as someone who is an LA native. Which again, I don't know if you know this or not, but I do live in LA, born and raised. And yeah, I thought it would just be fun to talk about my experiences. And also, I promise, this is the last video I'm gonna make about Chicago. Until I go again. But yeah, anyways, let's get started. Also, I'm wearing this sweater. The Chicago. Has this thing on the sleeve as well. It's pretty comfortable. My mom bought it for me, so shout out mom. Before we get started though, I did want to talk about the experience that we had getting to Chicago in the first place. Because for me, it's never as simple as get on a plane, get there with no problems. There's always something. I don't know what it is about me in airports, but there's something always has to go wrong. Thankfully though, I've never missed a flight, and I have always gotten to my destination safely, which is all I ask at this point. But yeah, some examples are like, every time I go to Mexico, for some reason my boarding pass always doesn't come out. Like, I always have a problem with it. Last time that happened, I literally asked the flight attendant helper person, I don't know what they're called, I'm sorry. I asked them, hey, out of curiosity, why doesn't the app want to give me my boarding pass? She was like, I have honestly no clue, dude. Everything seems good on my side. I don't know why I didn't give it to you, so... What the fuck? And also, I don't know if you remember a couple years ago, but there was a huge Microsoft shutdown, so a lot of stuff just wasn't working, which makes you really think about how much we rely on technology and how much we're screwed if we don't have it. But anyway, guess where your boy was during the shutdown? In the fucking airport. But anyways, I digress. We're talking about this trip, not the trips in the past. And everything seemed to be fine. Until we were about 15 minutes away from landing. Our pilot gets on the intercom and says, hey guys, sorry for the interruption, but unfortunately there is a huge storm and we cannot land at the airport. So we're just gonna do a couple laps and hope for the best. Maybe it calms down. If not, then we'll see what happens. And I thought, okay, nothing crazy as long as we're safe. And it's not like we were gonna do anything when we got there because we were gonna get there at midnight, so it was fine. After 30 minutes of circling, he gets back onto the intercom and says, hey guys, guess what? 1, the storm has not calmed down, so we can't land. And 2, we ran out of gas. And I was like, you ran out of gas? Take me out back and kill me like a yeller, because what the fuck do you mean you ran out of gas? So what ended up happening is we went a bit further north and we made a little emergency landing in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I guess add that to the list of states I've been to because we were there for a fucking while. So yeah, we landed and then the guy said not to worry, it should take no more than an hour to fuel the plane and get back on the road, or in the air, sorry. And by the time we're done fueling, the storm should be over. So it's great. So to kill time, my mom and I decided to watch the Coco movie, which is fun. If you haven't seen Coco, I recommend. Anyways, well over halfway of the movie, we get another announcement on the intercom saying, hey guys, guess what? Not only have we not been fueled, but the guy that fuels has gone home. Mind you, this airport closed at 10. So no shit, the guy went home. And also one guy? You guys have one guy fueling all the planes. Don't be cheap, guys. Get more than one person to fuel the planes. But anyways, I digress. So we were just literally sitting there for an hour not doing anything. So what they told us is that they were going to take the plane to get fueled where private jets get fueled. And unfortunately we could not be there anyway, so we all had to exit the plane. Sure, everyone exited pretty quickly and they had us wait in the gates. Like I said, the airport had already been closed for a couple hours, so it was empty. Like, not even like the coffee was open, which I desperately wanted a coffee because I was fucking exhausted. But yeah, we just waited at that gate until the plane got fueled and they let us back on. We waited almost 2 hours to get back on the plane. And to make things worse, they wouldn't just let us get back on the plane normally. Oh, no. They had to rescan our boarding pass. Seems simple enough, right? Just scan your boarding pass and go, except one thing. Does this cute little thing where after your flight lands, it deletes your boarding pass from the app. Well, that's great. Me though, since I'm prepared and paranoid, I saved the boarding pass to my Apple Wallet and also took a screenshot of it. Just in case. And you know what? My paranoia came in handy this time because I had my boarding pass, but a good chunk of people didn't. So they had to check people in manually. And like I said, this wasted so much time. It took us another hour just to get in. Like, homeboy, everyone remembers our seats. No one else is hitching a ride from Milwaukee to Chicago when you could literally just drive there. And by that point, you know how much work someone would have to do to hitchhike onto that flight? Like, you would have to not only wait and hide in an airport that's closed for hours, hope and pray that a flight were to magically come in that you could board illegally, and then sneak in without getting caught. If someone did all that work, go just let them in the plane. I don't care. But you see, no one's insane enough to do that, so I don't know why they really just had to, like, check everyone. But sure, call it procedure. We eventually got on the plane and we took off, and 25 minutes later we were in Chicago. And yet we still had to drive to the hotel, which was unfortunately like 30 minutes away from the hotel. Oops, my bad. That was me. That was on me. I accidentally picked a hotel that was far, but it was nice though. By the time my body actually hit a bed, it was 5:30 in the morning. So our cute 4-hour plane ride turned into a 9-hour adventure. So what's the moral of the story? Count your fucking days. I'm just kidding. It wasn't their fault. But for the most part. Anyways, at least I had a lot of fun in Chicago. Like I said, I've been doing a couple of shorts and TikToks on Chicago. If you want to check those out, I have the day 1 and day 2 recaps that I did. I would greatly appreciate it if you want to check out and get a more in-depth view on what we did. But if not, I'm just going to give you a few of the standouts here. So enjoy. Number 1, we tried the infamous Chicago-style deep dish pizza from Lou's. I don't know how to say the second part. I'll just put it on the screen. You'll see it. The concept of the Chicago-style pizza is really interesting to me. Like, instead of having your typical deep dish with your sauce and then cheese on top, it was reversed. It was your deep dish with your cheese and sauce on top, which again is really cool. And as someone who's worked in a pizza shop for 4 years, or used to work at a pizza shop for 4 years, I could say that I honestly really fucking liked it. Like, it was really good. Like, 10 out of 10 would recommend. For sure, if you ever go to Chicago, I do recommend you try the deep dish pizza. Number 2, we went to the Starbucks Reserve, which is a 4-story building with just coffee. My paradise. But yeah, everything looked really cool in there. It smelled like coffee, which I honestly fucking love. And I got to try an espresso martini, which, let me just say, it was one of the best espresso martinis I've had in my life. I don't know what they put in there or how they made it so good, or maybe I was just in the mood for it. I don't know. It was just really good. Number 3, there was a permanent jelly cat pop-up that we found in the Nordstrom nearby, and let me tell you, it was just like one of the cutest things I've ever fucking seen. Like, I've never been surrounded by so many jelly cats, and honestly, I miss it. I wish I could have bought them all, but unfortunately they would not have fit in my luggage. And also, unfortunately, I don't have the money for that. But I did buy one. Like, look at him, he's just so cute and fluffy! Anyways, we're actually gonna leave him back here. Oops. He's gonna join us for today. And lastly, I flicked the bean. Life changing. And I don't go around picking beans. You know that. That's there for a reason. Anyways, no, but in all seriousness though, it's an iconic landmark and it looked really cool. Like, you could see your reflection perfectly. It was a bit dirty, but besides that, it looked really cool. And honestly, it was an experience that I would not trade for anything. Like I said, as someone who was born and raised in LA, I've got to know the city pretty well, obviously. But it's always nice to explore different cities and see how different they are from our own. And honest to God, I fell in love with Chicago, I'm not even kidding. There's a couple of things that did stand out to me, and one of them being is how clean it was. It's like everyone locked in and came to a consensus, all agreeing with the fact that we have to keep this bitch clean. Hardly any trash anywhere, and it just looks so alive. I don't know how to explain it, but just everything just looks so like amazing to walk through. Not to criticize my own city too much, but it has gotten a lot cleaner in the past couple years. We could talk about the bigger problem at play when it comes to the cleanliness in LA, especially in downtown, but that's not the video you clicked on. And I don't want to get political right now. Maybe later. But all I want to say is make sure you vote for people that actually give a fuck about you. Anyways, another thing I noticed is how accessible everything was. I feel like Chicago was a pretty walkable city, a lot more than LA for sure. Here I feel like it's basically a necessity to have a car, which of course you could get around with not having a car. There is public transit, albeit it's not as great as it would be in New York or Chicago, but it exists. But for the most part, everyone does get around in car. As opposed to Chicago though, a lot of people did get around by train. Like when I got to the hotel at 5:30 in the morning, I talked to the concierge and asked for suggestions of what we should do, and she gave me some suggestions, one of them being Lou's, which is why we went. But she also suggested that we take the train everywhere. Like, it's very convenient, pretty cheap, And also, it's fun to just explore the city a bit more. You get to see a lot more stuff if you take the train as opposed to if you're just driving. But since we did have a car, we just drove everywhere. But if I didn't, I would have gladly taken the train. I would have saved myself the parking money that we spent, which was almost $200 in 2 days we were there. And not even 2 full days. The second day we were there, we left like around 6 p.m. So yeah, I'm taking the train next time for sure. The closest thing we have in LA to the CTA train in Chicago is the metro. To give it props, it is expanding. There's a new track that opened I think a couple years ago that takes you directly to LAX, which is really good. There's also the new D line that opened up a couple months ago, which I still haven't tried. I will for sure get on it one of these days, I promise you that. So yeah, in summary, next time I will be using that train in Chicago, and I hope that public transit gets even better here in LA. We are making strides, but let's keep it going. Because I don't know if you noticed about me, I've been driving for 4 years, but I fucking hate driving. Which leads very well into my next point. The traffic. Chicago traffic was nowhere near as bad as LA traffic. I could say that with all the confidence in my heart because the 2 days I was there, I was at peace. Well, for the most part. Again, it's like everyone locked in and everyone was just driving perfectly. Or maybe it was just an exception. I don't know. Again, the 2 days I was there, I didn't experience any problems, so I don't know. As opposed to here though, there's so many dumb drivers. Like literally on my way to work yesterday, I experienced 4 nearly crashes. Like 4 people almost crashed. What are we doing? What are we doing? Like traffic is so annoying to deal with. It takes you 1 hour to drive a couple miles. And I'm tired. I'm tired. I will gladly take public transit. Just get me out of those fucking freeways. But yeah, like I said, traffic in Chicago was a lot more light. Only thing I will say, sometimes the street would take us underground and then the GPS would stop working. And then the trumpets would get louder. But we figured it out. I mean, I'm here, aren't I? Anyways, another thing I want to talk about is the weather. Excluding the day we got there with the horrible storm, it was literally perfect weather. It was a bit harder than what I'm used to, but that's alright. Can't complain, specifically considering that the vast majority of the year, weather there is horrible. Or so I've heard. I do believe we're incredibly spoiled here in Southern California with our weather. It's literally within a range. Like, it's rare to see it ever exit that range, so you're just always getting consistent weather throughout the whole year, if we're being honest. Never gets extremely cold that it's unbearable, rarely ever gets really hot. Like, I'm not too bad with the weather, I could deal with heavy colds or heavy heat, but I do appreciate how consistent it stays here. But yeah, like I said, the 2 days we were there, the weather was perfect. So, thank you to, I don't know who I'm thanking, what the fuck. But yeah, that concludes all I had to say about my trip to Chicago. Again, I'm really sorry, I feel like I've done a lot of content on this, but I had fun, okay? Let me be. But yeah, if you liked the video, do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And if you want to make sure you don't miss out on any of my uploads, please do me a favor and hit that bell icon to get notified. At least, if YouTube wants to notify you, I don't know. And also share this video with your friends. Anything to help me get out of the trenches. And also, if you want to follow me on my other socials, I have both Instagram and TikTok. I post there semi-frequently, so you'll always see what I'm up to. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please stay safe out there, be kind to one another, and hopefully, I'll see you NT. Bye. Shit, I almost dropped my coffee. Like, isn't he just so cute? Okay, we're done. Bye-bye.